Hey, welcome to Fangs Metal Beer Club. Oh, no, this is the TRIDENTcast, and our first TRIDENTcast in 4K. How do you know it's 4K? Well, because up until just recently, you thought that was 1080p, but no, it was zoomed in. It was zoomed in on our beautiful faces. Hey, look, it's Joe. Joe's here. He crashed the podcast.
Dr. Vitus!
Would you like to do the honors?
What am I doing?
You gotta look in the camera and scream, theme song!
Oh, yeah. Theme song!
Hey, welcome to TRIDENTcast number...
Yep.
Number what? You'll fill in the blank. Look down at the bottom of the...
This is like 17, 16.
It's
We've
probably
had
like
a lot.
17 or 16.
Yeah.
It's been a few, yeah.
Yeah.
But our first TRIDENTcast with a 4K camera, which means we can, those crazy zoom-ins on faces that we love to do, we can do them now in full HD without losing any quality, which is why we brought Joe on the podcast to basically just make faces the entire time. Oh, man.
I kind of thought the shitty zoom-ins were funny in like a shitty way.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just like manually pixelate it and just make it better.
We'll see how the high def turns out.
So Brian and I, if you can tell from our voices, Brian and I are both sick because we had to spend 5 days in a car with Sicky McSick Baseface over there, who showed up on Wednesday to our tour. Is like, I'm sick
Because my coworker went to work sick.
That's
She's
the
not
shit of
watching
it.
this.
See, that's the shit of it. Okay, look, I don't care who you are. I don't care what job you're doing. If you're sick, just stay home, man. And I know, it might be like a classist thing to say. Oh, some of us can't stay home because we have to make money to survive and blah blah blah. But dude, like for the good of humanity, like for not spreading your germs all around, like don't lick any doorknobs, just stop staying home, get the meth out of your mouth, just subscribe to the Patreon. I mean, for God's sake.
It's funny, I made a Facebook video post about that, NPR video about how long to stay contagious and how fast germs move and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. But there's some people like at my work that have the sick days, could use them, but just don't. They just feel like they have a duty to be at work. Oh, I gotta be at work. Oh, otherwise people will think less of me. It's like, dude, just if you're sick, man, stay home.
Yeah. Watch The Lion King in your jammies.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Better yet, get some.
That's what you
Sounds kind of nice.
Yeah.
So we're not using GoPro anymore?
Yeah.
Guangdong Heavy Machinery?
So we've got a GoPro over here. Hey, GoPro.
Yay.
And over here we've got a brand new, thanks to you Patreon backers, we've got a brand new 4K Asako GoPro knockoff. Actually, this is interesting because I did a lot of research. So we just got back from tour, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. But we just got back from tour, and we were going to shoot footage for a music video on tour, and we had two GoPros, one of which was a Hero 3 Plus, and one of which was like an original GoPro, which honestly doesn't do all that great in like low light conditions. I mean, we used to use it as a side camera, which works okay in here because we got a lot of light, but like in dank, dungeony clubs and stuff like that, probably doesn't work all that well. So I started looking into buying another GoPro, but they're like $400, and I typed GoPro into Amazon, and the new GoPro came up, but then this Asako thing came up. And I'm like, oh, what's this? So I started looking at, comparison videos, and like, damn, it's pretty damn close to the GoPro, and it's like $80. So I decided to give it a whirl, and it does 4K at 24 frames a second, which, I mean, like, honestly, that's all I need.
Fuck yeah.
So, the only thing it doesn't do, that the GoPro does do, is like, the new GoPro does like 720 in like 240 frames a second, which I think is pretty sweet.
Why do you even need that many frames a second?
Oh, sweet parkour videos.
I thought you were going to say that.
slow-mo stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I thought you were going to say with the GoPro, when you do videos like base jumping or paragliding or whatnot, like it automatically, when you import the video, that it adds sound to it. Like it adds like
dubstep?
Yeah, or yeah.
Well, this one automatically adds sound too, but it's like a Chinese boy band sort of a thing. So it's pretty good. I do have to delete that out of every track, but
got it.
Speaking of footage, how's your feet, Brian?
We're good.
Hey.
Yep, Brian is in the chair massager this time. Last time it was Aki, and so by the end of the podcast, he's going to be a puddle of relaxation, which we're going to have to clean off the couch.
Are you on
Or you might
relax
get a
or
DVT.
refresh mode?
I don't know.
Oh, how do you feel?
Yep.
Yep.
So speaking of 4K and cameras, we recently posted a tour wrap-up video, which was actually our first video in 4K. So if you've got a 4K TV, you know, pop that onto your 4K TV and look at our pores in a whole new light. You know, I mean...
Or
you
whores
know.
in a poor new light.
That too.
Or those wet kitty noses.
The wet kitty noses. See, I got some really close-up cat footage because I'm like, man, once we get a...
3 of the 4 nights are kitties.
Once we get a 4K TV, we're going to be able to, like, just reach out and touch those noses, and Aki's going to be happy again.
Yeah.
You know? He's not happy right now. So, so yeah, I think let's talk about the tour. Before we get into the tour, I want to give a big, huge shout out and thank you to our friends and mechanics at Phoenix Foreign Car Services. Joe turned us on to.
Thank you for recommending
Thank you for
They're so
recommending them.
awesome. They're my best friends.
They are.
Besides these guys.
They are now. They are now Manus Power backers.
Holy crap!
They're official sponsors, and also, so like, okay, so the story goes is that and Joe hasn't heard this story, so it's a good.
Oh, have I not?
Have you not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe.
So like, I went in, you know, I got this thing. Oh crap! Your the side airbags on your Toyota actually can get moisture in them and then can shoot shrapnel and kill people in their faces.
Shit.
And so we're doing a recall, and multiple people have died because of this. So we're doing a recall.
Awesome.
Which is pretty metal, but I kind of don't want that, you know, on our vehicle.
It's not cool when it happens to us.
Exactly. So I don't want that on my vehicle, so I bring it in to to get it replaced. And so the mechanics at the dealership, I do it at the dealership because it's free. The mechanics at the dealership are like, all right, so
BRB, lol.
okay. All right, so we replaced that. Your battery's dying, and you need new wiper blades. And also, when's the last time you replaced your timing belt? And it's like, I don't know. I bought it secondhand, but like, it had to have been replaced. Like, it's currently at like 155,000 miles. There's no way that timing belt is original. Like, it had to have been. You're supposed to replace timing belts at 100,000 miles, right? There's no freaking way this timing belt's original. And he's like, oh, well, okay, but, you know, we should just check it, because in about 50,000 miles, you're going to need to replace it again. I'm like, all right, cool. How much is it to replace the battery and the wiper blades? $450. I'm like, fuck that shit. $450 for a battery and wiper blades at the dealership?
$5, get out of here.
Yeah. So I just went down to AutoZone and did it. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, well, geez, I wonder when the timing belt was replaced. Because, you know, if it was replaced at like 75,000 miles, then it's coming up, you know. So I call up Phoenix. I'm like, hey, look, can you guys just take a look at this timing belt and water pump and just see where it's at? You know, I'm 99.9% sure it had to have been replaced, right? And Bob's like, oh, yeah. I mean, what are you at right now? I'm like, 160,000 miles. He's like, yeah, if it wasn't replaced, it's an interference engine, so the pistons would have hit each other and the engine would have exploded and you would have totaled the car. And he's like, there's no way it outlasted 60,000 miles of its original lifetime. There's no... But he's like, but you're right, we need to look at it, we need to open it up, see what state it's in, because you're going to be replacing it in the next 30,000 miles. I'm like, okay. So I brought it in, and I left it with Bob, and Bob didn't call me for like a couple weeks, you know? And
Wait,
then
you left it with him for a couple
like
weeks?
a couple weeks, which is kind of odd. Not unexpected, but just kind of odd. And he calls me up and he's like, "Are you sitting down?" Like, yeah. Why? And he's like, "That timing belt was factory original." And he's like, and parts of it were hanging on by like the tiniest plastic thread you could even imagine. He's like, that could have and potentially would have broken on your way driving it in here to get the timing belt looked at. He's like, you should go buy lottery tickets, and if you have a lucky rabbit's foot, I'd hold on to that. So like, oh shit, okay. And he gave me part of the original belt.
Do you have it here?
I do, dude. It is, and I put it up on Facebook, dude. It is like I mean, it is literally, if I pull it real hard, it'll snap. It's like, it's holding on by like the threadiest of threads. I walked in and he's like, you guys were just riding on good vibes. I'm like, yep.
We got like karma built up from our last Trident breaking constantly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how karma works.
So thanks to Phoenix for doing that. They replaced the timing belt, they replaced the serpentine belt, the pulleys, the radiator, like it's almost a new, a new Trident mobile at this point.
Do they only do foreign cars?
No, they do stuff, but not many people bring their domestic cars there.
Sure, because it's got foreign car in the title. But man, I can't recommend these guys enough. Phoenix Foreign Car Services. If you're in Madison, dude, drop your current, mechanic like a ton of sack of bananas and just go over to Phoenix Foreign Cars.
Yeah.
Tell them your bananas are rotten. I'm going to some fresh bananas.
Figured out what's wrong with your car. Yeah, it's broken.
So anyway, with that being said, so we got the timing belt replaced. Everything was all good. Let's talk about the tour.
Ooh.
Let's do it. All right. So night number 1. Aki, why don't you start out?
Oh, night number 2 is the one I like a lot.
Okay. Night number 1, Brent. You came to my house, barfing, a fever of 103.
Yep.
And then what happened?
That didn't happen.
Okay.
Let me think. We drove to Lowell.
Lowell.
Yep, no
We
syllables.
stopped at a
Tightrope.
badass Wendy's on the way somewhere in
We got Frosties.
Indiana.
Oh, yeah, we did.
On the way.
Yeah, you did.
We played a show. Man, I cannot remember that night.
We played at
That was Magbar night.
Magbar.
Was that Magbar?
That was Magbar.
So that was Magbar in
Oh.
Louisville, our second time there. And
That's
all things
right.
considered, for a Wednesday night, it was a really good night.
Yep.
I told the guys, I said, like, look, it's a Wednesday. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where we're staying. I don't know who's coming. Just like set your expectations really low. If we make $50, I'll be over the moon, basically. And we made more than $50, so I was over the moon. The first band, Stitchfork, was pretty good, and the last band, Dea Scofulpul, Dead Scuba, I called them, I think. They were really good too. It was like black metal.
Yeah.
They did a good job stacking their harmony guitars
Yep.
in a way that's similar to how I construct a lot of riffs, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was it the first band or last one that had the guy with the hair like Steve in Stranger Things?
First
First
band.
band.
That was the lead
Okay.
guitarist.
Yeah. And Buddy from Bethlehem
That's right.
was like randomly there.
Yeah.
Buddy
Work
just
took him there. Right?
just
Yeah.
messaged me and he's like, "Hey man, I'm hanging out with a bunch of old people at old folks' home. They put me up in a guest suite. They all go to bed at 7. You guys playing tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." So yeah, apparently Buddy works at a startup that provides iPads for like rich old people now.
No.
And so he like travels around the country going to like really rich old folks' homes and teaching them how to use iPads. And then they put them in like the old folks' home guest suite, which usually is a lot cooler than you'd think
Regular
it sounds.
rooms. Yeah.
Nice.
And I was joking with him. I'm like, "Oh man, all your old people friends must be like, oh buddy, it's 7 o'clock. Your friends must be playing already. You should go see the show, buddy."
Does he need a nurse in case the old people accidentally kill themselves with the iPad?
How would they do that?
Probably not impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I tried to eat the iPad.
What I love about this on 2 levels is like Buddy sounds like the name of like an old guy's old golden retriever.
Yep.
Buddy. And then the other thing I love is like I feel like there's a lot of things that just universally are uncool, like Crocs with socks,
Old people.
guys who have like the people with like the Bluetooth headset. And then the other thing I was thinking is people recording concerts with an iPad. Like the middle of the concert. I remember we played at the
Fuck those
Frequency,
people.
and there's like a guy like this.
Oh yeah.
and it's just like, oh,
Worst kind of
that's
people.
great. Yeah, that.
Speaking of recording concerts, there was a guy there from a local radio station who comes out to a bunch of shows and uses like a Tascam recorder to record shows, and he actually sent us the file of our set, and I didn't think it was going to sound good. It actually sounds pretty decent, which is really surprising. So I'll probably like post some of that up or
Lo-fi stuff.
yeah, or whatever. So thanks for recording that. And then we stayed with Trent, who is the drummer for the first band, Stitchfork. in his girlfriend's place.
He's also in Blind Scryer in our band area that we want to play with.
Yep, Blind Scryer, who are also very good. And like, so we didn't know where we were staying the first night. Had no idea. Trench is like, yeah, I'll take care of you. And so I'm like, okay, you know, because sometimes, I mean,
You never know.
we stayed in some places.
That's a roll of a dice for sure.
Yeah.
And
But
we
man,
came up with
this-
a 12 on this one.
Oh, it was super nice.
Yeah, it was really, really good. It was like walked in and it was like somebody decorated it out of like a catalog.
Yeah.
You know, it was really clean, really nice. Like
I
holy
think Brett
crap!
might be right. I mean, he was surmising that perhaps they'd have made because there wasn't like a lick of dust anywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, like what they lacked in cats, they made up for like cleanliness.
that's true. That's true. No cats, but very, very clean. Yeah. And I checked all the airbeds ahead of the tour and patched a bunch of holes, and so the airbeds mostly stayed inflated for most of the
It
nights.
lasted 2 or 3 hours.
You know, well, they duck a little bit. I mean, they don't
All
stay
do.
completely firm.
All do.
100%. But I mean, at least they weren't on the floor.
Yeah.
So that was night number one. I parked like unreasonably close to a stop sign in the place where we were, and I was just like worried the whole night. So I don't think I got much sleep. I was just like,
It's like that the night we got a ticket in Toronto that we never paid.
yes. Holy
Oh,
shit.
you guys have done that too.
Oh
huh?
no! Right, we're going back to Canada
forgot
soon.
about
We have
that.
an unpaid parking ticket. Oh no!
No, you have different tags though.
That's true. That's
So
true.
yeah,
That's right, yeah.
'Cause we had the shit mobile last time we went to Canada.
Yep.
Was that in
not me.
15
I'm not
or
going
16?
to Canada.
That was.
Was it?
That was in 16.
Obviously, yeah. That was.
Yeah.
When are you guys going to Canada?
Clifford the Big Red Shit. We're,
June, early June.
yeah,
Oh,
June.
shit.
June like 20th through the
Can I be your
22nd.
Oh,
roadie?
late June.
Michelle already called it. Dude.
Fuck Michelle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Michelle. She'll give it to me.
I'll never forget though. You
Yeah, she'll give it to
you
me.
did some
You know what I mean.
you did some amazing parking in Toronto. I remember you backed up in the alley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was like Brett style parking.
You should
Brett's
have
probably better. He's got more practice on it. I haven't driven that thing in like a year.
you should have saw Brett. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
On the night of the last show, we were in the Gaslight District of Cincinnati, like the historical district. It is. It's called the Gaslight
The
District.
Gaslight?
Yeah, that's literally the district. What's
I don't
called?
think that's.
I'll look it up after this. But anyway,
Gas oven district.
Aki's probably right.
he parallel parked the vehicle with a trailer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also slightly drunk.
Half drunk. I was gonna say half drunk.
But well under.
I'm like Brett.
zero.
Brett. Oh, he's got it. He's got. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Oh no. Yeah. He's like, I'm fine. Let's get some fucking Skyline chili. Let's do it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. So that was night number one.
That was 2.
I'd say the highlight of my tour was on morning number 2, taking my 5-pound dump in a porta potty in a busted down
Oh, yeah.
gas station in Kentucky, and it was about 40 degrees
In
out.
Cincinnati,
I froze
Gaslight
my
District.
balls off.
That was
That was
great.
really a highlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, sorry.
it's
Walk
all
in.
downhill from there. That's the zenith of my existence. Right there.
Walk in and be like, where are your bathrooms?
It is the Gaslight
out
District.
there.
They're out
Probably-
there. Ours are broken down. Like, there's
Yeah.
2 porta potties out there. Like, oh, thanks.
I like how the lid on mine was like completely busted off too.
Yeah.
So
Brian was hover dumping.
Good times.
No, it wasn't
Oh.
hover dumping. But it was just a good moment for reflection.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here I am in Kentucky at
Hover
9
dumping.
something in the morning.
Everything
And,
in my life led to this
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all downhill from here. It does
a
not
good
get
name
any
for an
better
album.
than this.
Hover dumping. Yeah. So yeah, we were driving. so the deal was, night number 2 was in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So I've never been to North Carolina, and I think a lot of us maybe. Well, Brian obviously has been to North Carolina. He did his grad school there. But like, raise your hand if you've ever been to North Carolina before this.
I mean,
Oh, I technically
Slightly.
have. And
Yeah.
Smoky Mountain National
Well, I guess me and Aki are the only North
Ty.
Carolina virgins. Yeah.
what happened en route to North Carolina?
Yeah, so that's
Or
the
where you're
shit of it.
getting
I'm getting
Okay,
to it.
all right.
So I fucking looked at the Google map, all right, and I'm like, all right, North Carolina. It's like, oh, just drive through West Virginia. I'm like, no, we're not driving through West Virginia. That's not happening. So I'm like, alternate route. And I look, and it's like, oh, there's a route like under and around West Virginia. I'm like, there we go. That's how we're doing it. Well, it turns out that I confused the county lines for the state lines. And we didn't go under and around West Virginia. We went like dead through
Yeah.
West Virginia for like 2 freaking hours, and I was not driving, thankfully. But like that was a tense 2 hours.
I held my breath the entire time.
Yeah.
It was
We actually
very
became really
in the
quiet.
car.
We didn't talk, at least for first like 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, you remember last time?
Pallor came over the vehicle.
Yeah. Last time we went through West Virginia, like we went,
Pallor.
we went through West Virginia like out of complete necessity because like last time we went to West Virginia, we were going to go through like we had to get to Pittsburgh by such and such o'clock, and we got a late start, and so we absolutely like going around West Virginia would have added another hour and a half, and we couldn't do that. So the little section through West Virginia.
I'm allergic to podcasts.
To West Virginia
Yeah.
discussions.
West Virginia.
The little we had a little
Podcasts about
chunk.
West Virginia.
We had a little chunk through West Virginia that was 20 minutes long, and I didn't tell the guys. And I remember, and we were in like the shitty old Tridentomobile. And I remember us like coming to the state line and seeing that big giant sign, "Welcome to West Virginia," and everybody's like, "Wait, what? No, what's going on? Why are we here? What's going on? No, Ty, you fucking promised." I'm like, "Shut up," and I turned off the music. I'm like, "Shut up." We've got 20 minutes in West Virginia. If nobody talks and we play no music, West Virginia will not know we're here. You know, so that's what we did. We didn't say a goddamn word for 20 minutes until we.
And then we stopped at Chipotle in West Virginia.
Well, no, this is the
the
original.
last
this was the last time.
Yeah.
And we made it
Is this
through.
before I was in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we made it through West Virginia, and we all gave it the finger.
Yep.
And so this time, unfortunately, it was like 2 hours. So we ended up stopping at a Chipotle, which was next to a Hobby Lobby and a drug emporium.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got a picture of that I can put up here.
Yeah, there's Brent being all thuggish next to the Hobby Lobby. So we stopped at the Chipotle, and I felt like it was a good omen. You know, I was on edge. Like fuck. Like I read the map wrong. We're in West Virginia. This is literally the worst scenario. Like
Map reading for the win.
there's nothing worse. You know, and I just know we're gonna break down here. I just know it. And I think, you know, it was kind of a good omen when we went into a Chipotle, and there was a dude at the register. He's like, he's like, "Y'all from Wisconsin?"
He saw my shirt.
Yeah.
Shirts.
Yeah, Wisconsin or
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, "Oh, we're from Madison." He's like, "Oh, I'm moving there in like 2 weeks. I'm getting out of this shithole." I'm like, that's a good omen.
Yeah.
You know?
That was good. Made me feel better.
I was pretty because I've never been a part of the West Virginia thing before this, and then all of a sudden we get close, and Ty's like, "Oh fuck, oh shit!" I'm like, "Is something wrong?" Like I feel like something like actually bad was gonna happen.
Yeah.
It did
And
happen.
it was like
Something
we're
bad,
going-
actually.
We're going through West Virginia. I was like, "Oh, okay, the car's not gonna explode. Like we're not like actually fucked right now." It's just, it's like
For those that don't know, we were like actually stranded for like 3 days in West Virginia once. That's
And
why.
it was the worst. And it
Terrible.
was in rural West Virginia. The people working on our van were like a guy with 3 teeth and Boomhauer.
It was straight out of Deliverance.
It was across the road from a trailer park, and the part we needed to fix the van, it was going to take a week and a half for them to fly in from China, and luckily JT from Bethlehem found it in a scrapyard an hour outside of Pittsburgh, and then drove like 2 hours into West Virginia to deliver it. And it was this giant fucken part.
I
But-
didn't know that story.
Yeah, and I was
shit.
and I was
Fucking
trapped
ass.
at the car repair place the entire day listening to country music with like no Wi-Fi.
I was there.
Well, you were there
Part
for
of
some of it, and it was just the worst. I was trapped with Joe, and it was just the worst.
Can't stand Ty.
But yeah, and we went on this tour to go play this big show with Bethlehem and the Bloody Seamen. Great band name. They're a pirate band.
I hope so.
And we missed the show. Like we played all these other shows, and they were all kind of like
Oh,
And they were like,
they were worse than
yeah, some of them were worse than but we were gonna make all our money back on the Bethlehem show, and then we didn't make it because the frickin' van broke down. And so I have PTSD every time we go into West Virginia. I'm like, no, never again. So that was me.
So we made it to Chapel Hill.
The funny thing was is that we got all the way through West Virginia. We hit this tunnel that separates West Virginia from Virginia, and I was just watching out the side of the window. Thankfully, I wasn't driving the whole time. Just admiring the amount of shacks in West Virginia. It was like 95% shacks. And then we go through this
West Virginia.
and then we go through this magical tunnel, and then suddenly it's like pastoral farmlands, and there's a distinct lack of shacks.
Yeah.
It's all Sound of Music looking all
Yeah. And it was beautiful. So we all breathed a sigh of relief and turned on some music, and life was good. We made it to Chapel Hill. We were driving through like the thick of the forest for a long time, and we're like, where is this place? It's like, it says the venue is in 8 miles, but we're like in the wilderness. Like, are we playing in like a back bar somewhere? Because we were originally going to play Raleigh, but they're like, let's play Chapel Hill instead. I'm like, okay, let's see, you guys know. And then we 3 miles before the venue, we like come upon Chapel Hill. It's the cutest fucking town.
Yeah.
It's so
College
cute.
town.
It was a college town.
Well, yeah,
really
it is where the Tar Heels are out of, and that's big business is basketball.
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yep.
Which is why that strip we're on is so like pristine and tip top condition.
Yeah.
Because they need that to look good for all the kids who want to come through there and decide to go to school there.
Yep.
That sounds way funnier if you heard stripper instead.
I heard
That's
stripper
what I
too.
heard.
That's why that
too.
stripper was
Steam. All the kids come there. It's good
It took me a second
condition.
to put together what he said. I was
Yeah,
like,
they run a classy establishment.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what I heard.
Strippers.
So we got to the bar was called the venue was called the Local 506, and it was like a union run venue, and you had to be like a union member or you pay like union like extra dues at the door, which was really interesting, I thought.
Is that like because of like coal stuff? Like
I don't know.
coal country? Do they have unions? I don't think they have unions because fucking Billy.
Yeah,
It's
no.
coal mining.
It's coal mining, yeah. But I mean, the town was great. You want to talk about Al's Burger Shack?
Yeah, I always try to.
so good.
I love checking out restaurants and whatnot. And so I immediately when we passed by right next to venue was this place called Al's Burger Shack, and it was like a line of people, and immediately my curiosity, peaked because I love like local restaurants and whatnot. And lo and behold, it's even mentioned on the Chapel Hill Wikipedia page because they have a section about how they've become more of a foodie small town with a lot of good restaurants and whatnot. And we went there. It was awesome. The burgers were really good. The rosemary fries were awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, we got food beforehand, and the venue was very cool. The bartender was really cool, and the green room was really interesting. It was like a separate apartment. You actually left the building, and then you went up some stairs, and it was like an apartment that we used. They had a shower. I always love some
Oh my God,
places
Joe,
have a shower.
Had a shower, Joe.
You could almost
my
imagine.
my greasy Italian ass always appreciates a shower.
Hey.
I think the highlight of that night was just, it was a Thursday night, but the energy from the crowd was like so great.
Oh, yeah.
And like
That
just
crowd was amazing.
They were
I love that
freaking
one
out.
I'm a black guy, like he knew Kill to Die.
Yeah.
We'd never seen him before. Like just the crowd was awesome, and the band, it's like Demon Eye was a great opener. Like this was my first time like seeing a whole set by Super Colossus, and they were really good.
Mega Colossus.
Oh yeah, Mega Super Colossus.
Yep.
They were really good. Sorry.
Yep.
Super Colossus.
Mega
Yep.
Super Coliseum.
Oh, they're right behind me.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of which, hand me that. I forgot how much I loved this album. I bought the LP, and honestly, I forgot how much this album kicks ass.
Hyperglaive.
Hyperglaive.
Mega Super Colossus with
Hyperglaive.
Hyper Ultra Glaive.
Yeah.
But like, if you watched our tour wrap-up video, I used track number 2, Sea of Stars, on there. But like the whole side A is like gold. So I would absolutely 100% recommend picking up Mega Colossus Hyperglaive. So yeah, do that.
Was that the show where you were like, show of screams, how many people have seen us before? And someone was like,
Yep. There was
And
like
then,
one guy.
How many haven't seen us? And it was everyone.
Yeah.
But like the crowd, a lot of people knew us already, and they were like rabid.
Yeah.
You
That's
really
what-
do feed off the energy of the crowd when you're performing.
Oh, yeah.
So like it made us, I think, all rock
Makes
the
us
fuck
want
out.
to rock out more and perform better.
It's super fun.
And our band's just like, oh man, Mega Classes had a really good stage show. I think Brian, you put it like that one guitarist with glasses had such like the best guitar faces.
Bill.
And the singer was really good.
They
Had
got
like
a
good
new
head voice and
bassist,
whatnot.
Anthony,
Yeah,
who's quite good.
yeah. Who's singer in Nightmarish.
Yep.
Nightmare. And like
Nightmarish.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, they're all
7
really
out of
good.
10.
Yeah.
That was
And
a good
then,
night.
like the icing on the cake is we stayed at Steven, one of the guitarists in Mega Classes, and he had this awesome house and
Fucking palace.
yeah, it's a
So,
palace and
The funny thing was that the rest of the guys in Mega Colossus were like, so, Bill lives in Chapel Hill and he's got like a couple room apartment if you guys want to crash there. Or, if you want to drive another 25 minutes into Raleigh, you can stay at Steven's giant palace. And I'm like, maybe the giant palace? He's like, oh yeah, okay, we'll just let the butlers and the maids know that you're, on the way, so they'll like prepare the guest rooms and maybe like take the night off so you can stay in the servants' quarters and
Are you
stuff.
serious?
Well,
Well,
like-
maids and butlers and shit.
So like, I was like,
And he was
and
like,
then we roll up and we're like, oh fuck, like seriously, this house was like a mansion, basically a mansion. It was freaking enormous.
They had more space than they could even fucking use.
Oh yeah,
it had a haunted attic section.
murder addicts.
Murder attic. Sorry.
Yep.
And he had like this basement studio. He had this room where I think he was going to make it a weight room. I mean, it was giant, and you can see in the tour video Ty made you can see the exterior of the house when we're loading the vehicle.
And the dog.
Yep.
And the dog and the cat, yes. Yep.
So like big props to Mega Colossus for letting us stay there and for Steven for putting us up, and like holy crap, that was like, I think that was the nicest place we probably have ever stayed ever. The second is probably Nunchuck and Sword Guy from Fallen Rain.
I was going to say that one too. I would say special mention though that place in Tennessee, had all the cats and the dogs.
Yeah.
That one was.
wait, was I there for that one? Or am
I think you were. Yeah.
Well-behaved
No.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah, well-behaved children. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, those would be my top 3.
Special shout out to a couple of my buddies who made it out to that show from the time I lived in North Carolina. So Patrick Town, also big Mega Colossus fan, had a great time catching up with you. And my buddy from grad school, Jonathan Wall, who wore the Luna Mortis shirt that I gave him.
I saw him walking in. I'm
And,
like, ah!
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's with me. Don't worry about it. And he managed to take. Maybe I'll try to send you this so you can pop it up. He took a selfie of himself, but it flipped around, and he realized that Luna Mortis backwards looks like anal shit room.
Wait, what?
Just
Like the font. It sort of looks like anal shit room.
here, I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. That was good for a laugh, but it was. I know last time I was down there for a wedding, Andrea and I we missed him. Just schedules didn't work out, so I had a great time catching up with him that night too. So
The Mega Colossus guys also took us to a barcade, which was.
I didn't go to that.
Yeah, you didn't go. I was the only one who went. It was awesome. Yeah, it does come with a big anal. It does, yeah. There you go. Anal shit room right there.
Shit room. Oh my god.
So, yeah, we went to a barcade.
even the computer likes it.
It was great. That whole night was just really awesome. And because we only had 3-hour drive, so that drive was like 10 hours, which kind of sucked, but it was fine. The only part that sucked was the West Virginia part. But we made it, we made it, and everything was fine. And we got to, like, sleep in, which was just the best. I mean, we slept in this giant mansion with cats and dogs. Oh, man.
You had Indian food. I did push-ups.
Yeah. I ate some Tide Pods. It was really good.
Yep.
Did some laundry, ate some snacks.
I
Some
got
Tide
to
Pods.
like lay down and be sick instead of sit in the car and
Well,
be
we
sick.
got. It was just really nice to be able to casually
It's
wake
nice.
up, casually shower, leisurely repack the trailer and get on the road.
Yeah.
Because most mornings we wake up and it's like, okay, we're already 20 minutes behind. We gotta go.
Yep.
So,
Yep, that was great.
yeah.
Yeah. So then we drove 3 hours into Charlotte and met with Tommy, aka Tony Parmesan, and
Gene Parmesan, how
I
you doing?
I never met this guy before, and within minutes of meeting him, he bought me a drink and gave me a birthday cake.
Yep.
It was my birthday that day.
Yep.
Pretty hard to miss.
He was
was
great.
great.
Tommy was awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tommy is my spirit animal. You know, like yeah,
He's super into metal. He's all about metal.
he is incredibly into metal. Tommy is, and just an amazing guy. Just overall a fantastic dude. So
He took
yeah,
us to Lenny Boy Brewing in Charlotte.
Yep.
Which smelled like apple cider vinegar inside, but their beer was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they make kombucha in addition to beer.
Yeah.
That was it.
so we got some awesome beers. Surprised Brent with a birthday cake. I told him to get a carrot cake because that was the healthiest of all cakes, I think, 'cause it's got carrot in it. Because I know Brent doesn't really like cake all that much, but, you know.
It may be the most delicious of all cakes.
You think so?
Carrot cakes.
Carrot
I
cake?
fucking love carrot cake.
I don't know, man.
was good.
I'm a cheesecaker.
Cheesecake is really good. I love cheesecake. It's hard, but I just have a very soft spot for carrot cake.
Yeah. Carrot cake
It's
is
so
good.
Yeah, then you can get into the whole argument about whether cheesecake's actually cake or not.
Right.
Right.
But like,
right.
I think it's mostly just the quality of the cheese or cream cheese frosting that you put on the
Carrot cake
as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I had Heidi make me for my birthday last year. So.
Yeah. Oh, that cake was literally the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a piece?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was
Oh, yeah,
like,
you were there. Yeah.
Heidi-
crazy about it.
Heidi does good work.
I don't remember a whole lot of that.
She's upstairs baking cookies right now, actually, as we speak. So we got that to look forward to. But so I told Tommy, hey, can you get us a cake with like a skull on it? And he's like, I don't know, man. And so he just bought us like a cake from their local grocery store, which just had a bunch of like little frosting carrots on it. And then he asked the woman if he could buy some frosting out of her, or off of her. And he bought a bunch of like the bags that the frosting came in. She just gave it to him for $1, but she wouldn't sell him the piper that goes on the end of the bag.
That's right.
So he had these like frosting bags, in which
And he just went,
which we cut giant holes
It would
in.
have been fine if we like cut a tiny hole.
But we
Yeah,
didn't.
remember
He
took-
cut like a giant hole.
Cut a giant
Whoever
hole
took the
in them.
black one, yeah, they just ripped the end off.
That was Tommy.
Yep. And so we, instead of putting like little tiny, pipings of frosting, we were like giant turds of frosting.
If we would have planned it out, it would have worked.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had an idea, but Brent was like,
Oh,
"What are
right.
you doing? Like, let me do it."
I drew the world's worst skull, somehow only made worse by Brett. Like he somehow made it worse.
Yep.
I had a plan.
We gotta lock in together
Yeah.
on our music and cake frosting.
Right. So but all
It
in
tasted
all,
great regardless.
Yeah, it was really good. It tasted great. We then went to the venue, the Milestone, and Tommy kind of prepped me ahead of time. He's like, "This is a crusty joint." Wow, that was a crusty fucking
I
joint.
remember
Holy shit.
at the night before, like they saw our fire and shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, where are you playing tomorrow?" We're like, the Milestone. They're like, "Oh, man, if they hear that you have flames, they'll be like, make them twice as big." And it's
Yep.
like, ha ha ha. And then as soon as I saw the Milestone, I was like, they weren't fucking kidding.
Yeah.
Like this place.
well, if it goes great white, they get an insurance check. I'm guessing.
Exactly. It was it looked like a crust punk's basement that was an entire venue. I mean, it was like the punkiest ghettoiest place. It was great.
It had that smell to it and everything.
It looked like PBR smelled.
I like how
Every inch of every wall was covered in either spray paint or stickers or both.
Yeah.
but it was great seeing at that show seeing Nightmare,
Yeah.
and I think the big surprise was the first band was called Ozai, and man, they were just very technically talented. I think the guitarist really stole the show. It was kind of like Born of Osiris, kind of badass. Like kind of genty, like really good solos.
Really
Like, just
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Really good. I mean, everyone in that band was really great.
They covered all of Africa.
Yeah, and they
Toto.
played Africa by Toto, so
That
pretty
was the
hard to
highlight.
miss.
That was
And
100%
no,
highlight,
well,
yeah.
the real highlight was
The
the next song about werewolves. What do they were?
Yeah. So that was the next.
That
band.
was the real highlight. But
So after Ozai played Africa, the next band was like a really grungy
Axe Attack.
like thrash metal band, like, you know, patches and jackets and like you know, that kind of a band. And yeah, they started off one of their songs with, "All right, the next song is about werewolves. 1, 2, 3, 4."
Yeah, and I had to stop warming up
We
because
were-
it made me laugh
We
so hard.
laughed so fucking hard at that. Oh my god, weird.
And then, oh yeah, where were we?
So yeah. So like in the middle of that song, they broke a string, and the guy's like, "Oh shit, I thought these strings were supposed to be impervious to damage." And then there was like a minute and a half lull, where there was no sound whatsoever when they were like switching out guitars or changing strings or whatever. Yeah, and then the guy was like, "All right, where were we? 1, 2, 3, 4."
That was so funny.
So great.
It was awesome.
Like the rest of the tour, we would just randomly scream that.
Yep.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So, yeah, and then Nightmare came up and, like, you know, kicked everybody's asses, including ours. They were just fantastic.
I think the whole night, like, man, the guitarists were all really good that night.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that thrash band, like I was at Jackson Kelly, was very good, and the guitarists and Nightmare were good too. Yeah.
Yeah, and just a really, really receptive crowd, really like ready to just throw down at the milestone. You know, like a lot of like dudes that were just ready to push each other and like, you know, punch each other with love.
My favorite part was
Foam
Tommy
swords.
and his goons just like power stepping around in a
Oh
circle.
yeah, with foam swords. Just
It was great.
Tommy came up and sang "Kill to Die" with us, which was really fun.
It was fun.
He brought a sword and and to surprise Tommy, we made Tommy tights,
Yeah.
because Tommy wears tights to like, or leggings or whatever you want to call it, to just basically every show. And so we wanted to get like custom order Tommy tights that had like prints of just Tommy's face like all over it, but we delayed too long and we couldn't get them ordered, and so we bought white tights and we just took like fabric markers and we drew Heidi drew Tommy's face and like some porgs and Albus and the word thick, you know.
2 C's. White pants were the chance.
Yep.
And
And he loved it. Oh my god, he's had so much fun with that. Yeah.
And Nightmare
Thick
played
boy.
a Kiss song, which also tied into our running gag of the "How many of you boys want to get licked tonight?"
Yep. Yep. So if you watch the tour video, you'll see they opened. We let them into our little inside joke about the "Lick It Up" intro, and so they opened their Kiss song with that. So that was
Yep.
super fun. Stayed with Tommy that night and got to meet Albert. Oh, and Cookout. Let's talk about Cookout.
Oh, cookout. Yes.
Who wants to talk about Cookout?
$4.99 for a
Yeah.
sandwich and 2 sides, of which your sides could be a quesadilla or like another wrap, or you got like 3 sandwiches and a drink for $4.99.
Cookout makes really good food that you can get after a night of drinking at 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning in North Carolina.
And a lot of it.
And you can get a lot of it for not much money, and it's really quite good.
I was surprised at how, like, I was expecting for $5 you get like 3 sandwiches and a shake. It's like, man, I was expecting it to be really shitty. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We were
wouldn't call
looking
it
at
great,
that.
but it was definitely decent, especially for the price.
Yep.
We were looking at that and we're like, is it $5.99 per item?
Right.
No. The entire thing.
Yeah.
It's just $4.99. Yeah.
$4.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, that can't be right.
$5? Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So we had that. Went to Tommy's. Met Albus, his cat.
Great cat.
Yeah, amazing cat. Like probably a very famous metal cat. If you're in the metal community and you know Tommy, and then you know Tommy's cat Albus. So I finally got to meet him, which was I was a little starstruck, you know, just to meet Albus.
And Ty and Tommy and the guitarist from Nightmare all went upstairs and disappeared for the rest of the night.
Yeah, we had a little
Yeah.
Metal Bro snuggle party. It was super fun. Yep, and Yeah, I went to sleep at the foot of Tommy's bed, and I woke up with Reed from Nightmare, like, just, like, right next to me. I'm like, oh, hi, Reed. I didn't hear you come in. You know? And yeah, then we had a little, me and Michelle and Reed, we all had a little snuggle fest with Tommy in the morning in his bed, which was sexy. It was great.
I thought I was wearing pants when I went to sleep. And I can't remember.
I don't know. I probably didn't. So, yeah, and it just, that whole night was really fun. Fun hanging out with Tommy. And so then we had a 7.5-hour drive to Cincinnati, which was the worst drive of the tour. So we left North Carolina, and it started raining, and it was like pouring rain. And then we drove through like the Smokies on the way to North Carolina, and on the way to Cincinnati. That wasn't so bad. But we stopped in Kentucky at a rest stop because Brian was pooping a lot.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
And we walked into the rest stop, into one of the stalls at the rest stop, and somebody had pooped on the top of the toilet. Not like on the rim. No, like behind, you know, like the toilets in the rest stop that are like a normal toilet, and then they have like the metal pole and the little flusher. They had somehow managed to poop behind the metal pole. Like it was just a log just sitting there, you know. And I walked in, I'm like, oh, and then I was like, wow.
And to be clear,
it's a rest stop upper decker.
Yeah, no, we called it the
to
upper
be clear,
decker.
I was not the one who did that.
You know that term?
So,
Of course.
I've never heard
I
that
know
term.
you and I
Never heard of
were
an
like,
upper
what?
decker?
Yeah, come on.
Oh man,
I lived in a firehouse for 3 years. I know what an upper decker is. Okay?
This is like the most fecally centered podcast ever.
yeah. So the whole time back, we were just laughing about the fact that somebody just decided to do an upper decker. I guess it would be like a mid-level decker because there's no real like upper.
Middle decker.
It's a middle decker, but like somehow they managed to like put their butt behind the metal pole and like perfectly land it. I mean, it was kind of impressive. And then he was like, well, you know, what state of mind are you in where you're like, I'm going to poop behind the flusher? It's like, oh, you know, in Kentucky of all places. But anyway, I digress. So we, so after pooping and finding that amazing middle decker, we're driving through Kentucky. I should mention, the whole time we're driving south, there's this nor'easter that's coming through. And it's making everything colder, like, south than it was in Madison. So we were all just confused. We're like, why is there snow in Louisville when there's no snow in Madison? This is weird.
yeah, the whole trip was colder where we were than it was up here in Madison.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But
So we drove... So as we were hitting the middle of Kentucky, we hit, like, the worst ice storm that I have ever driven through in my life, which is saying something since I'm from Superior. Like, I'm used to driving through really, really, really bad conditions, but this, hands down, was the worst driving I'd ever done in my... Like, and it was dangerous and horrible. We were like driving 35 miles an hour for like, I don't know, 2 hours.
That was a while.
well, you're also not normally pulling a trailer.
Right.
But
There was that too. And there was a bunch of times where it was kind of little skidding out of control. You got to take really slow turns. I can't even remember how many cars we saw in the ditch.
at least
lot.
15.
Yeah.
There was like
Yeah.
a mile or two where every quarter mile there was a car in the ditch.
Yeah.
Not exaggerating.
It's like those police and tow people would be busy all night long.
Yep. Couple cars that were like on their side. One car that hit one of the walls and like smashed in half. And like, man, it was really, really freaking bad. And so we were supposed to get into Cincinnati kind of around like 6:37ish. We didn't get there till 8:30, and we were playing at like 10, so we barely had time to load in and get everything going before the first band started at 9. But thankfully, we made it. We were playing at this brewery, Urban Artifact, which was in like an old cathedral style church,
super cool,
like giant, huge, spires cathedral kind of style.
Flying buttresses.
That's right. Woo. Flying butts. And we were down in the basement. We were like a youth group, playing down in the basement, and there was but with beer. The beer was really good. The bands were pretty good. Automaton was amazing. They released their album. Thank you. This album, go pick it up. It is on Bandcamp and iTunes and Spotify and MySpace and RedTube. Go pick it up. And it was kind of a bittersweet night because it was David Sugarman's last night as singer of Automaton.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll fill you in on the details, but he for issues related to his mental well-being, he decided to step down as singers. So it was abso-freaking-lutely packed. I mean, there was probably
At least 200 people, I'd say.
I'd say probably 250. I mean, over the course of the night, just in and out.
Yeah.
So it was a really, 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 really good crowd. And people loved us. We made a killing at the merch booth, and it was just fantastic. And seeing Automaton and just being there, it was a complete honor. Yeah. So we're super glad we could make it. Glad we didn't die in Kentucky. Be a weird place to die.
It was awesome after Automaton finished. Like, Kenny, the guitarist, was like, everyone give him a group hug. And then, like, people were, like, hugging him.
Yeah, the whole room came in, and I was right next to David Sugarman.
Yep.
So I'm, like, squished up against him. And I'm like, well...
Yep, me too. We were
I love you, man. I am not going anywhere for a little while.
Yeah.
But people were, like, paying respects to him for, like, an hour or something afterwards. It was just... It was heartfelt, and...
Yeah.
It was good to be there for him.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Urban Artifact made some really tasty beers.
Oh, yeah.
Sure did.
The maple breakfast stout was really good, and I'm not even a big maple guy, and I still enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Brent
had the one that...
The strawberry something or other.
the squeeze box. We all had that.
They had
Brent had
one-
one that ran out.
Yeah, it was like a red wine barrel aged
I had that too.
stout. It was so
I had the very...
son of a bitch.
I killed the keg.
That was
I had the very last
The
one.
escapement, that's what it was.
Escapement.
Yeah.
It was
I wanted it
so...
so bad.
Dang!
So
I did
good.
not even realize that was an option, because my kick lately has been that I have no drinks until the gig is over, and I tend to do much better.
What?
But,
You play better when you're not drunk? What's going on here?
No, I did the same thing, but I made an exception for that one.
fair enough.
Yeah.
But that, hey, I guess, you play well, you lose.
Yep.
So you miss out on the good
Play
beer.
well.
So
That'll keep
As
her-
as Michael Jordan would say, stop it. Get some help. Anybody seen that? No.
Does-
Okay.
If you're
You
not
were
first
sports
that's where his
I'll put it
gambling is. That his gambling problem?
No, it's
Stop
like
it.
it's some
Get
PSA
some
in
help.
the 80s about meth. It's like, if you ever tried meth,
Stop it.
Get some help.
Get some help.
And
Oh well, now that I know that, I'm done.
and they use
Yeah.
they use that clip when, like, somebody posts something stupid on the internet. Stop it. Get some help.
Get on the Lord's Patreon.
Yeah. Take that meth pipe out of your mouth. Go to patreon.com/Lords of Trident.
Post gig, we went to.
Skyline Chili, woo!
So Brett said,
You
he's
suck,
like,
Jimi Hendrix. Woo!
so Brett's like, all right, guys, real talk. We're going through Ohio. If we don't stop at Skyline Chili, I'm out of the band forever, and I'm suing you for entrapment. That's what he
That's
said.
what happened.
And
That's what happened.
and so we're like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, Joe? And so after the gig, Marcus Wolverhampton, aka Kenny, was like, I told him about this. He's like, hey, good news. There's a Skyline Chili like 6 blocks down from my house, and it's the original first Skyline Chili ever made, and it's open until like 5. What?
To be fair,
I'm the
Aki
one that found it.
yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Well,
Oh,
Aki-
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Initially,
I
Aki
thought
was
Marcus
like,
did.
initially Aki was like, oh yeah, there's a Skyline Chili open till 4 a.m. tonight. I was
And
like,
I'm like,
that's when it
it's the
started.
original. I was like, it's the original one in the
And then
Gaslight
I
District.
didn't realize you
Conversely,
found it.
and then we talked to Aki,
yeah.
and then we're like, oh yeah, this is the one we found. It's like, oh yeah, that one's like a block and a half away from my house.
Yeah, conversely, I'm pretty sure Kenny knew that was there.
Yeah.
He did.
He didn't know it was there, but Aki's the one that started the whole...
Right.
Aki's really diligent
Okay.
about finding the best restaurants on
Aki
his phone.
found the Skyline Chili, and Kenny was like, "Oh yeah," and so and then when we told Brett, "Hey, it's 1 a.m, we're all packed up, and we're going to a Skyline Chili a block away from where we're staying," he was like,
Woo!
We have a picture.
"Yeah,
That was the best, especially because
We
I
were
was
all-
half in the bag.
yeah." We were all half in the bag and really excited about Skyline Chili. Brett, you want to set the scene for when we got to Skyline Chili.
Yeah.
What was the atmosphere like?
Well, as we're walking,
I'm gonna blow my
it was
nose. You set
it
the
was like
scene.
a chilly walk, but still nice because we're all like a little
A chili walk?
shit.
Yeah.
But we get there and it's obviously packed because it's 2 a.m. and this is like a college area, so every drunk person between the ages of 20 and 23 are there. We walk in and we get greeted by this one of their workers, and he's like, okay, pretty frantic. How many of you are there? It's like, there's 8. And he's like, there's 8 people here? We're like, yes, there's 8 people here. And then half of us get almost kicked out by the cop on duty.
Yeah.
Because they didn't think we were all together.
There was a full-time cop on duty at the Skyline Chili.
Yep.
Which kind of tells you something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you reenact the worker's face when he heard 8?
His face was.
It's just like the...
He had this look of sadness.
Yeah. Just like, there's 8 people here. Like, yeah.
Fuck my life.
Right. And then there was... most of us immediately noticed some drunk girl with her boob hanging out.
Yeah.
Like
a full-on boob. Just whoop. Just
to the point where straight up one of the servers was like at her table and had to reach over and pull her shirt over to cover her boob.
It was one of those kind of like dress things that went like this, except she was like hunched over, so the boob just popped out. It was really great.
Dude, that's
Made that sound, yeah.
Then we finally got our tables. They set
Word.
us at 2 4-tops, and then all of a sudden this like lady comes out of the bathroom behind us. She's like, "Hey, does anybody here know an Emma? Who knows Emma? Where's Emma's friends, man? This girl is fucked up.
Yeah. She said that.
She's fucked up." And then finally,
I was like, I'm trying to pee.
This girl's passed out in the stall. She is fucked up.
they finally figure out who her friends were, which ended up
Boob
being
girl.
It was
the
Boob
boob girl.
Yep.
Yeah. They go in there and somehow wrangle her up after the on-duty police officer goes in there too, and she's like carries her out, and this girl is just like, she had a bad night.
She looked pretty pale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very bad night.
Yeah.
But after that, we got our Skyline Chili, and it was the fucking best thing ever.
Yep.
I had my 3 cheese conies
Yes.
at the recommendation of Kenny and Katie.
I still haven't had Skyline.
Oh, dude, it actually was like, so they take pretty good chili, they put it on decent spaghetti, and then they put 17 pounds of shredded cheddar cheese
Yes.
on top of it.
Yeah, I was there the last time we were down there for Warriors of Metal 3.
That would have been, the last time we were
5?
there, it was like 7.
Something like that. The last Warriors of Metal.
7.
Yeah, and then I was sick that day,
Right.
so I only had the crackers.
Oh, one thing I forgot to say is we had a super fan
Feel neglected.
in Cincinnati at Urban Artifact who was feeding me booze, specifically Irish coffee, like ahead of time out of the back of his truck. And like you do, and he and he's like he heard about our mead, and he's like, "Oh, I make mead too, and I made a batch for you guys." And so he gave us this mead, which I haven't had yet, and I thought maybe we could all try it on the podcast. I'm not sure if it's gonna kill us, but we'll give it a shot.
We'll have Joe try first.
Oh yeah,
I'm good. I'm
But you're not in the band, so like you can
I'm
guide.
less than 2 months away from graduating. I don't want to risk that right now.
But we're in a rock band.
yeah.
I'll just have a little.
Haven't you
Well, that's
seen,
why I
like,
got little
Metal
taster.
Apocalypse? Like the fans would do this in a second. For
off the beach,
I'm not a fan though.
So anyway,
Aki will try it first.
we were at Skyline Chili.
I'm like,
Had some chili.
I'm like Roxo, the rock and roll.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Put white Christmas up my nose.
Cocaine!
Seriously though, a lot of cocaine. I do a lot of cocaine. What's that, Judge? How's my nose bleeding? I fell down.
Yeah!
All right.
Sweet berry wine!
Here's to blindness. Thank you.
Cheers. Aki, your face right now.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
You're not a mead person?
I'm not a huge meat
It's a little
person.
bitter. It's a little bitter on the backswing.
That's a little better than that.
it
But,
is.
you know, all in all, not too bad.
It smells better than it tastes, but it doesn't taste that bad.
Smells like
So thank you.
Still love you, Boss Meadery.
smells like cough syrup.
Yep.
Well, it is kind of cherry-like flavor, so.
So we stayed with Kenny and his two cats, Lebowski and what was it?
Aries.
And Aries. He showed us his ginormous vinyl collection, which was really impressive.
Not just quantity, but quality.
Oh my god,
Super
really, really
He,
good.
Primo
he showed
shit.
me his Dream Theater scenes from a memory with the Twin Towers, like the flaming Twin Towers. So like serious Dream Theater collector's item.
It was like
Yeah.
a live.
Yeah,
version
yeah, the
of-
live scenes from New York.
Still in the package.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a big time collector's item.
So thanks to Kenny and his wife for putting us up. They also did like a giant breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which was
Very nice of
amazing.
them, yeah.
Oh god.
So much coffee, so much bacon.
Yeah.
And then we packed up and we drove all the way home. We stopped at Mitsuo, of course, to grab some Japanese food, and then we got all the way home.
Yeah.
The only, other than the ice storm, the only like heart attack moment we had was somewhere around North Carolina-ish. The maintenance required light on the Tridentmobile came on, and Brian was driving, and we were just like in hushed tones. Brian and I were like, the light came on.
Don't even.
What do we do? Don't tell anybody.
Don't look at it.
Don't look at it. You want me to keep driving? Yep. Let's just keep driving. Just don't tell anybody. You know.
I heard you.
I thought I heard whispers of that, and I think that was the point where I was like, "Oh, I'm getting."
You're in the back being car sick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so what we determined was it was just the like every 5,000 miles it turns on like tell you to change your oil.
Yeah.
So I just reset it. I reset it and it just went away and it never came back. So thankfully. It was all good. So Phoenix Foreign Cars did not do us wrong. Everything was good, and that's it. And that was the tour. And then we came back and passed out, and now we're all sick.
I'm
My
not
I
favorite-
did want to.
anymore.
Sorry, go ahead, Aki.
I just wanted to give a really quick shout out. A to Ty and Brett for doing so much driving, and to Brian too. You did a
I
leg
did a
as
little
well.
bit, yeah.
But really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Can't appreciate that enough. And the other thing is to our friend Michelle Delory.
Oh God, yeah.
She's so awesome. I think like she's always so so positive, and I think like a lot of times if anyone watching this has ever maybe gone on a road trip with some best friends or whatnot, you know, when you're in close quarters for a long time, like I feel like it's natural that maybe you get on each other's nerves or whatnot, or maybe like when we're on the road, we didn't get much sleep most nights. I think we got 5 or 6 hours of sleep. So like,
Right.
it really helped to have her there, not only selling merch and videotaping us, but she's always so positive and so fun. So thank you, Michelle.
Yep.
It was really awesome to have
She
you.
got also in Cincinnati. She got Brian
didn't
Weber
get that chance.
to come out. So
Yeah.
former
Yeah.
Appleton, Wisconsin Otis
Yeah.
guitarist came and hung out with them. So
See
hung
show.
out with us.
Yeah.
So super cool.
He stood
Great
in
to
front
see him.
of Brian the whole time with his arms crossed, like he's okay.
Yep. So big thanks to Michelle for once again being our awesome merch person on the tour and for doing all that stuff for us. And
Yes.
she's amazing.
Yep.
So go to michelledelory.com, order her chakra realignment kits, $69.95.
Get on a
Crystal healing.
Patreon.
Get on our Patreon, patreon.com/Lords of the Trident. Every second
/
dollar.
Michelle Delory.
Yeah, every second dollar goes to Michelle Delory, probably. And, yeah.
Oh, and if she's a couples counselor, so if you hate your spouse but
There you go.
want to give it a try, yeah.
You hate your spouse but want to give it another try.
What I was gonna say is my favorite tour memory with you was being at Doug's and finding the wine that said Ass Man Chowser on it.
Yes, man, Schauser. You're gonna stay with Doug soon.
That's in Canada, right?
No,
but-
it's in
But
Michigan.
we stayed in
Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo and
Where did we find the
Doug-
X-Men shows?
It was
Yeah.
on his whole thing.
Doug basically said, bars open, but not like Doug bars open, not John Libel bars open.
Yeah.
And they found a bottle of wine called the Ass Man Chowser.
Did you drink it?
I don't think I had any.
Did we?
But I think you guys.
I think
I
we
don't-
did.
Yeah, I think it
we
was.
did.
I was drunk.
Doug collects guitar. Doug's an amazing person. I know Doug's watching. Thank you, Doug. Doug's an amazing person. Doug and Monique, and he collects like really high end, like bourbon, like $350 a bottle,
Oh,
sort of
jeez.
bourbon. And so whenever we stay with him, he's like, "Hey, you know this $300 bottle of bourbon? I haven't really drank much of it. You want to drink some? I'm like,
So yeah, I don't think
He also
you've-
had a bottle of like
maybe you met them in
absinthe
passing
from,
at
like,
Mad with
Eastern
Power last
Europe.
year, but
It's possible.
so are we gonna be hanging with him then?
the
Maybe.
plan is, yes. Oh yeah, no. Yes, the plan is
In
that
June?
in June we are going to we're doing like a little short Canada stint. So we're gonna hit Grand Rapids and then London and then Toronto. And in the Grand Rapids area, we're going to stay with Doug, and we might actually stay with him again coming back, depending. We'll see what we want to do. But yes, we are absolutely going to hang out with Doug again, and and he and Monique are coming to Mad with Power, and we're going to hang with those guys. It's going to be super fun. So, yeah. So that's the tour, and that was it. So check out our tour wrap-up video. It's on the YouTube. It's on the Facebook, and also. I emailed everybody that was on, I tried something new. I emailed everybody that was on our email sign-up list from, the 4 shows. I emailed them directly to say, hey, you've been signed up for the email list, and just so you know, if you want to support the band directly, here's the Patreon link. And then, boom, 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 just Patreon pledges, one after the other. So thanks to all the new Patreon backers. We are now back above our goal of, we dipped below our goal of, our stretch goal of live bootlegs. So now we're back over that stretch goal. So we're going to be releasing some of the live bootlegs from the Thursday show. I'm actually exporting them right now. So they should be up shortly-ish. And then everybody who's in the behind-the-scenes area on the Patreon has seen the Burn It Down music video that we're working on right now. And I might be putting up clips from the Death Dealer music video that we've got together for the behind-the-scenes people, too. So if you want to see those, make sure you're at the $8 or above level on the Patreon. And if you're watching this and you're not on the Patreon, which is probably almost 0 of you, but if you are, hey man, stop smoking that meth, stop drinking that meth, get that meth out of your Tide Pod mouth. Go to patreon.com/Lords of the Trident.
Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Can I ask Joe, since you're here today, and I feel like the Tide Pod thing is a consistent joke. Have you in the ER encountered any people eating Tide Pods?
Thank God, no.
No, okay.
No, I have not. Seen a lot of weird shit lately, but not any Tide Pods.
And we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Because we're resuscitating.
reviving.
We're taking the paddles. We're saying clear, and we're reviving and resuscitating.
Dr. Vitus.
Live, damn it, live.
An old but favorite segment of the podcast. I say now that we have that segment, let's just get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Vitus's gross medical fact of the podcast. What's been gross lately in the world of medicine, Dr. Vitus?
Okay, so right now I'm in my last clinical. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying it.
Yes.
44 days to go. 44
Awesome.
days.
And then you graduate.
Yes, and then I graduate.
Yeah.
So my current clinical is in the postpartum and labor and delivery unit at a hospital here in Madison. And yeah,
Hockey's face says it all.
Yep. And so, as one could imagine, that includes some kind of gross stuff.
Stirrups.
Yeah, no,
Vagina.
none of those. Vaginas. So, the gross medical thing this week is, or this month, sorry.
This year,
today.
perhaps.
Yeah, it is this year, actually. It's been a year. Is chorioamnionitis.
Oh, I get that sometimes.
Chorioamnionitis.
Which is when a pregnant woman has bacteria migrate up her vagina into her uterus, and it infects the baby's amniotic sac.
Here's a picture. No, I'm just kidding.
You'd be kind of hard pressed to find a picture of this.
Okay.
Have a nice picture of Wally or Lilo and Stitch.
Okay, Lilo and Stitch. There you go.
But,
chorioamnionitis.
But it comes. It causes some problems, like the baby can have some brain damage or some cerebral palsy for the rest of their lives.
Cool.
And,
How often does that happen?
It usually happens when the mothers having like labor for a long time. Like prolonged labor is one of the risk factors for it. So it's not super common because usually if people are in labor that long, they're just like, okay, here we're gonna give you some drugs and make you get this baby out of here,
A quick
or
question.
cut it out.
Isn't a kid like so far? I mean, they're so far developed. I mean, they're already in labor. How can they get like something like cerebral palsy that late?
Infection, lack of blood flow to the brain, all sorts
That
of stuff
quickly?
like that, yeah.
Wow.
How much does it increase the chance of them being a drummer when they grow up?
Drummers are more intelligent than most other people.
Sick burn.
Brent. There are
Sick
studies. Scientists did stuff.
Oh,
You got me there.
He's like, now Skyline Chili.
The verdict is still out on science.
I don't know about a drummer, but it might increase their chance of becoming Benedict Cumberbatch in a motion capture suit.
I just put that up there.
Was that a reference?
Listen,
Yeah.
Now, am I right? I remember a long time ago, like we were talking about terrible smells, and I talked about like a deer carcass that like
Aki.
we flipped over. But I remember we said,
Poor,
Doesn't it
beautiful,
feel horrible
simple
when someone
Aki.
Aki, poor naive Aki.
I remember you telling me like when someone gives birth, it smells really terrible.
It doesn't smell. That's actually not the worst smell I've ever smelled, but
Right.
you know.
Is fruit
2 pounds of
Think
fruit.
about. Think about.
Is fruit butt the worst smell?
No, that wasn't even close to the worst smell. But imagine
That's a great story, though.
Imagine having a fluid trapped inside a 98.6 degree vessel for 9 months, and then suddenly letting all of that out of there. And in that fluid is a living thing that is pooping and not pooping, but peeing. Yeah, and imagine how that would smell.
If only in addition to an epidural, they could inject something that made like all the afterbirth smell like double mint gum.
It's like it's a Febreze.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Febreze. You just shoot it.
Shoot it right up the vagina.
Yep. Yep. Well, cool.
Now with an extra case of Oreos Leonidas.
Yep. Thanks for that gross. Thanks for that gross medical fact.
Thanks, Joe.
I think to sort of wash the taste out of our mouth, which is a weird thing to say. I think now it's time for the most Febreze sponsored version of the podcast. The segment you've all been waiting for. You didn't want to hear about that, but you wanted to hear about Aki's cat picture of the month. Ladies and gentlemen, boom, whoop, there it is. Everybody say whoop, there it is.
Whoop. Ty, you got it on
Whoop.
your phone?
I got it. I'm pulling it up right now.
It's like one
I
of
haven't
those
seen
creatures
it
on
yet.
Doom.
Is it one of the pictures of the cats that we stayed with this week?
You know, it wasn't. I couldn't get a really good picture of the Lebowski. I wanted
Is
to.
that a Munchkin cat?
No. I don't like that. I don't like it when people breed
I don't either,
cats
but
have really short legs.
unfortunately cute.
So I really like this cat
Unfortunately
here.
cute.
Yeah, because it's terrible for it can't be good for the cat.
I really like the shot here, like where it's like the surrounding area around this cat's like distorted, but like it's like macro kind of the face and the body.
Love to see it.
Yeah, but I really like this cat. He looks very sharp. He looks like almost like an 18th century like writer or whatnot, or almost a little Edgar Allan Poe-ish. His name's Achilles,
Oh,
but
wow.
as you can tell, his weakness. Oh, bless you. His weakness is definitely not with the ladies. Man. Look at he has green eyes.
Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Would you look at that? There's another tour deep cut.
Yeah.
Green eyes and with my favorite color eyes, and I really just like how his head and ears are shaped and whatnot. I'm not a big fan of big ears, like both on humans and on animals. Like I like them being like well formed.
That's why you didn't vote for
See,
Obama,
that's-
huh?
Oh, dude, I love Obama. Man,
That's where you and I disagree, Aki. I love cats with big ears.
really?
Yeah.
They're okay. I mean, I'm not. They're not. It's okay.
This is good lighting, and you can tell these are pretty solid lens.
Yeah, I like
Yep.
how like see, I mean, like this is out of focus, but that part's in focus.
It's called
yeah.
bokeh.
Bokeh.
The out of focus part.
Is that the place where like old people go when they get to retirement age?
Yep. Out of focus for town.
Yep.
I don't know, but the out of focus area is called bokeh.
Bokeh. Okay.
Boca Cabana.
I mean, it's
Is
like
that
a
what you're-
Boca's a place in like Florida, and like old people like to go there.
I don't know.
I don't know.
His
Yeah.
name was Aki. He was a showgirl.
But yes, that's my cat picture of the month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good one.
If you want more cat pictures, also check out our tour wrap-up video. We had a bunch of cats that we stayed with, which were also awesome.
They were all great. Cats too.
Yeah.
Two other. So speaking of tour deep cuts, there was a couple other things that we forgot to mention in terms of tour deep cuts. There was the 12th Century Conqueror quote by Aki.
Okay.
Don't tell me my quotes.
I won't say that quote, but what I will say is, I'll tell you that after the. If you want to hear the quote, email us lordsofthetrident@gmail.com, and we'll send you an audio recording of Aki saying the quote. As long as you're on the Patreon. If you're not on the Patreon,
I'll tell you after the
recording of
Patreon.
that.
There will be.
Oh, there can be.
One of our favorite happenings that happened. So we were driving through the Smokies, and we had to stop to get gas, and we were also very hungry, and we found a Chick-fil-A, and we stopped.
That was
to get
such
gas.
a delicious Chick-fil-A.
And it was in this mountain town. It was deep in the Smokies. and when we were in North Carolina, we were used to the Southern accent being a little thicker, down there. I mean, everybody was saying y'all, hey y'all, and we were just and I was up on the mic. I'm like, all right, y'all.
And I just want to say, surprisingly, despite the stereotypes, I actually found that the Southern accent was the strongest in North Carolina versus Tennessee and Kentucky. And especially just like a half-hour, 40-minute drive into higher elevation areas, it became way stronger, and that's where we stopped at that Chick-fil-A.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about.
Delicious.
We stopped at the Chick-fil-A, and when we got, and it was in the Smokies, and when we got in there, it was like the thickest Southern accents. It was staffed thick. It was staffed primarily by decently attractive young white women.
That's hilarious. Yes. It was all attractive young white girls.
And there was this one woman, probably 16 or so, that whenever she would do something for somebody would say thanks, and she'd be like, "My pleasure." And every time, and I heard it 5 or 6 times. She'd put, she'd give somebody some sauce, "Oh, thank you, my pleasure, my pleasure."
Was I with you? When
She said it over and over.
I think it was you, me, and I was like,
said it to Ty, then me without missing a beat.
Yeah.
And it was almost exactly the exact same every time. My pleasure. My pleasure. So we came up with this scenario. There was this really seedy, manager, fat, manager in New York, in the back from New York. That was like, "All right, you girls, yeah, now you turn around. Oh, yeah, I like that. Okay, now listen. When a customer, when you do something for them and they say thank you, you have to say my pleasure, but you have to strengthen it out to 3 syllables. You mean like this, my pleasure? No, do it a little bit more soft and a little bit more long and a little bit more sexy. My pleasure, my pleasure. That's it. That's the one. Yeah, do it again. My pleasher.
Go out there and sell that chicken.
Sell that chicken.
It was so great because they're
really
all
uncomfortable right now.
they were all young white attractive women, and then the 2 managers that were there were guys.
Yeah.
Low mid-20s probably.
Right. It was just hilarious.
So the rest of the tour, we were opening doors and people were like, thanks, and be like, my pleasure.
It was eye-opening. Some of us, including me, only thought they had barbecue sauce. We didn't realize they had zesty buffalo sauce.
Zesty sauce.
Oh, and they had something called Chick-fil-A sauce.
I love Chick-fil-A.
Oh my
sauce
god!
is the reason
I can't believe I did not know about this.
The
God.
zesty buffalo sauce was good, but nothing beats Chick-fil-A sauce.
Right.
Either way, that was a highlight.
Sauce heaven.
Yeah.
I don't know. Their Chick-fil-A sauce and their sriracha sauce or whatever. They have a sriracha sauce.
Yeah.
It's like a sweet and spicy sriracha sauce.
You gotta dine in Chick-fil-A more
I know. Why do I keep this going to a drive-thru?
Mine was blown by this is so fresh and crispy and juicy.
Well, I'd always go to Chick-fil-A after practice and do the drive-thru, and now I need to
dine in,
more.
dude.
Yeah. Oh, it's so juicy and crispy on the outside.
So Aki learned an important lesson at the Chick-fil-A in the Smoky Mountains. Something that he better do is he better dine in. So Brett.
Oh
You better, Brett. What else?
You know
what is it? What is a thing that you better do?
Every time we have these, I forget I have this segment.
Thank you. I always forgot to find
So,
drummers are so smart. Remember,
when
just
you
like
have
the
a
study
segment
show.
in the podcast, you better prepare for it beforehand. Otherwise, you come up with awkward situations like these.
Yep.
You can only do that once. That'll only work one time.
Except it will keep happening.
Is there like a mixture of Chick-fil-A sauce that you're like, oh yeah, if you take the Chick-fil-A sauce and you put a little dip of zesty barbecue, and it's my pleasure to give this to you.
See, I've really I haven't had the confidence to go outside of the Chick-fil-A sauce yet. But now, if I really want to feel gross and nasty, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, I guess I was maybe going to have us talk a little bit about what it takes to get, what you need to do to get ready for a tour.
Yeah, that's pertinent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, other than for, I think, Ty, you do most of the preparations for us, but other than, like, us as musicians, you know, other than, like, for me having extra sticks, making sure I have, like, an extra snare head on board, making sure all your shit isn't cracked or is in good shape, your instruments are up to snuff. What else do we need to, getting the car checked, make sure that it's road ready.
Doing your manager voice.
Alright, so here's the deal. First, you gotta find at least a harem of at least 14, 15 girls, right? And you make them say my pleasure.
Now, so Polynesian. So, okay, so I would say, the thing that I've learned from doing multiple tours, there's a couple of things that everybody consistently either forgets or doesn't think of. First and foremost, if you're a band that's going on tour, I've never ever run into a single band that brings blow-up beds on tour. They're $30 a piece, right? I mean, you have one good night at the merch booth, and you can give everybody like a blissful night's sleep. Well, a better night's sleep than they would have had.
To be fair, I would really not think of that beforehand, but now after like being in the band and having it, like I can't imagine not thinking of that.
There's some gross floors. Like imagine sleeping on them.
Can you imagine if I told you like, oh, just bring a sleeping bag on this hard ass floor and put your pillow on it?
Right.
Ugh.
I've done it.
But I mean,
but blow up betters are better.
For 6 people, it's not, in the swing of in the whole, in everything, it's not all that expensive to buy a $30 blow-up bed and give everybody like a better night's sleep, and that's going to translate to like better performances, less sick time, everybody being happier with each other because you're not all like angry and shit. So that's number 1. Number 2 is also related to sleep. You should probably get an eye mask and some wraparound earbuds, and you can buy, or you can just get a free like white noise generator on your phone. Like when the first time I went on tour, I'm a really light sleeper, and the first time I went on tour, I had such a terrible time sleeping everywhere because of light and because of sound. Last time we went to Cincinnati, we were all going to bed at like 3:30 in the morning, and then like at 4 o'clock, like David Sugarman's drunk roommates came in and was like, "What, these guys aren't partying? We're supposed to stay up and party.
Oh yeah, that.
What's going on?" And I actually didn't hear them until one of them like kicked my air mattress and just sort of woke me up, and I was under the covers, so I like popped one earbud out just to hear what was going on. But like,
save the cat thing with them.
so I didn't, I was still pretending to sleep. I had the covers over, and I heard these guys are fucking lame. They're supposed to be partying. Oh, come on, babe. They've been on tour. This is their last night. They've had a rough time. They've been on tour. Like, you should just let them sleep. Fine. But I'm taking this, and I'm taking this.
Should grab the drinks and a cat.
Yeah, grab the drinks and the cat.
I wanted to really go up there the next morning at 8:15 and kick her door and be like, "This is so fucking lame. It's fucking party.
It's breakfast time. It's fucking breakfast. What are you doing sleeping?
Rock and roll breakfast.
Yeah.
Rock and roll breakfast time."
But no, seriously, like when I blow up my airbed and I put my earbuds in and blast white noise and then put my eye mask on, I'm dead to the world. You could be playing heavy metal until 5 in the morning, which has happened, and I will be sleeping. You
could be high and play the same acoustic guitar riff for literally an hour and a half in the middle of the night.
It's a good reference.
While everyone's trying to sleep.
Same night, same situation.
Same exact situation.
And you can sleep through it.
So, like, if you're going on the road, bring some wraparound earbuds that suction in and give you a good tight seal, and bring an eye mask, and you will be dead to the world. You can sleep anywhere, and you'll be fine.
Also,
sorry.
related to sleep, like just having a plan for where to sleep every night's really nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone does that, but like Ty
Nope.
does a great job of like figuring out
Securing
when
places,
we'll be, which
yeah.
is like, you know, we don't have to like scramble every day to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, does anybody have a floor that we can crash on? Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
For me, it's remembering. There's a lot of little things that I use every day that all of a sudden make me go, oh fuck, if I don't have them.
Yep.
And so it's just making, basically going out once and being without those things to make you say, ah shit.
Yeah.
And so for me, those are things like Q-tips,
Yeah.
dental floss, ibuprofen,
You can ask.
antacids. There's probably some other ones that I'm
Gotta
not
have nail
remembering.
clippers as a guitar
nail
player.
clippers
Yeah.
are all things that I have in my backpack no matter what each time I leave. And
Lotion.
lotion, yes, I have a lotion in there too, specifically for my face gets very dry coming out of the shower. And if I can't lotion it, I look like a reptile
Yep.
by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's really helpful. I'm trying to think. Obviously, a hairbrush, not as
Obviously.
important for this fella, but for me, I'm in big trouble if I don't have a hairbrush. But yeah, it's tiny things like that. I have gotten in the habit of just buying a big jug of water from Target, and that serves me very well. Some people have a thing about tap water at different parts of the country, it tasting funny or whatever. So if you bring a gallon plus of water with you right off the bat, and then you know it's going to be okay.
Yep.
I was going to say too, going along with what you said, Brian. Like I completely agree. Like sometimes I do a gallon. This time I brought a 24-pack of water. Like when you go to those gas stations, like it's crazy. Like a really small container of water, like a Dasani water, when it's like $1.50 or $2. Like there's all kinds of things like that. If you buy your snacks and water, tissues, etc. ahead of time, you're going to save so much money.
True.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was going to-
that pack of water was helpful.
Oh,
very
yeah, thank
helpful,
you. And it's
yeah.
just so much cheaper. It's like you pay less. I paid like when I discount like $3.20 for a 24-pack. It's like you save so much money doing it that way. I was going to say too. I think Brian and I are pretty good about this, but it seems like a no-brainer. But I always change my strings right before a tour. I'm going to jinx myself by saying this, but I've never broken a string on tour ever.
Yeah.
And I think part of that's I'm terrible about changing my strings, but I always do it before a tour because, like, man, if you break a string while in the middle of a show, you're
And
in
in
trouble.
hostile territory.
Yeah, in hostile territory, especially like we do songs some in drop C and some in D standard. It's like you can run into a major issue that way.
Yep. Another thing I was going to mention is if you're doing longer tours, and you're doing like you're watching your expenses. If you're doing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shows, it can be really. I know we talked about going to the seedy Chick-fil-A and stuff like that. It can be really helpful to like actually just bring a cooler and go to a grocery store and just stock up on deli meats and cheeses and like stuff like that instead of eating out every single meal.
Yeah.
It's a lot healthier. It's a lot cheaper, primarily.
I brought a box of
Oh yeah,
food.
you brought.
Just all kinds of like, mostly like hiking food, like nuts, trail mix, avocados.
And I definitely brought a box of bars and my salted peanuts. So a jar of those.
I feel like you buy those in spite of me.
I'm sure.
You don't actually enjoy them. You just buy them because
He's just like, this is unappealing, but I love the salty tears coming off of Brett's eyes.
Everybody will do better.
Who
by
actually
consuming
likes unsalted peanuts? Nobody.
Anybody who should be
Nobody
watching their
likes them.
sodium.
That
which is
reminds me, we
everybody.
ate boiled peanuts.
Oh yeah, we had boiled
Yeah.
peanuts.
The flavor was okay. The texture is very. Ugh.
I will pass on them every time.
I was you and Michelle.
Yeah, I was into it.
The Cajun flavor was good.
I'll
So
add.
any recommendations for being on tour? Some greasy, gross metal dudes trapped in a van.
Dry shampoo.
What?
Dry shampoo.
That's one I should try. I should
Alright.
consider
What,
bringing
wait,
that
what
next
is
time.
what is dry shampoo?
You've
It's-
never heard of dry shampoo?
No, I've never
You
heard.
spray
You've
it
been
in
to-
and it kind of absorbs the grease out of your hair a bit.
Yeah, it's fucking phenomenal.
It's just like a spray.
Yeah, it's the most popular one is like, I believe it's Tresemme, but it's like a black can with a yellow top.
I have
And you just shake the shit out of it, and then
Yeah.
you spray it around your hair, and it absorbs all the oil or a bunch of the oil in your hair, and then you just like brush it out, and it's like
I have
gets a real
had,
cancer.
I've tried it. I have mixed results with it. Some days it helps. Other days it's
it might be more difficult for you because
Right.
of your long hair, but for
Yeah.
like someone with short hair like me, Ty or Brett, it might.
the other thing I would add would be bring something to do. I'm very adamant about that because I hate wasting time. And I generally struggle with downtime in the van. So as these guys can attest, I'm always back in the no fun zone. I have music stuff to work on, books to read, even games to play.
Yep.
So I always bring lots to do, and then participate in some conversation. But I always set out on every trip with a to-do list of MIDI programming stuff or anything to make my time just sitting in the van more productive. So
Yeah, listening to Aki, Michelle, and I talk for like 9 hours a day can drive one insane.
then I can put the headphones on.
Actually,
and-
It'd be a little too talkative.
it's really great having both Aki and Michelle in a van. It's like a boon to like my mental health, because if I feel like either Aki or Michelle can just talk about anything
Yeah.
Yes.
for a long
Indefinitely?
time, and but just make it interesting. You
Yeah.
know, like Aki has so many interesting facts that he can talk about, and then Michelle's got all these interesting experiences, and they just sort of play off of each other. It's
I
it's
gave us a
fantastic.
history lesson on some. I can't even
Yeah.
remember.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
We learned
Yeah.
all about Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So yeah, I love having Aki with us and having Michelle with
We
us.
were able to
Just
ask Michelle our girl questions.
yeah, we're all
Yeah,
guys here.
we're all dudes here. So tell me about this.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation on IUDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all dudes here.
Good
Tell us
stuff.
about your IUD.
I can tell you all about IUD.
Thanks for announcing that on the podcast, Aki.
So we're gonna have to. we're
Why
gonna
did
bleep
you
that out
say
from
that?
legal.
Inquiring minds wanted to know.
Uh-oh,
We're-
this podcast is no longer HIPAA.
We're gonna have to.
All right.
We're gonna have to put some more Benedict Cumberbatch up there.
Yeah, woo. Okay,
We'll
so
bleep that out. Okay.
so we're probably getting close to time. There's a few more things I want to talk about, just real quick. I told everybody with the mobile recording box, we are using that. Unfortunately, we were only able to use it one night on the tour. I wanted to set that up, and we would have been able to set that up at the Automaton show, but because of that fucking ice storm, we couldn't make it happen. So apologies to
But-
that. But
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. You said you got Thursday night though recorded. That
I have
might
all
have
three
been our
bands.
okay, and Thursday night might have been our best performance.
Yeah.
So that was a good night to get.
So I'll be
We're gonna get
mixing
one.
and releasing the Thursday night, and I'll try to put up some of the best of Demon Eye and Mega Colossus along with that. That's on the Patreon for anybody pledging anything. So if you're not on the Patreon, pledge anything, even $1, and you'll get access to those MP3s. Speaking of the Patreon, the Castlevania shirts, we have the design together. We've got the screen together, and we're going to order the shirts and be printing them shortly, so they'll be coming out to you very soon. If you haven't been subscribed to the Claymore/Halberd channel on Facebook, so Claymore is a band that we play with in Pittsburgh, and they have a sister channel called Halberd, where they do like live Let's Plays, and they do all sorts of like fun skits and stuff like that.
licking Nintendos.
Licking Nintendos. So Lee Prisby runs that, and he has a Lords of the Trident candle, which appears in basically almost every skit out there in like very subtle, some in very subtle ways, some in very like clear ways. But if you go watch all of their skits, look for the Lords of the Trident candle in every single skit. You'll find it. I had a lot of fun like just watching through and trying to find where it was in every single skit. It was great. They just did a cooking video too, where they like specifically referenced it. It was a don't watch that cooking video on the bus like with a lot of other people around you, because you'll get some stares about it. So I wouldn't recommend that. But otherwise, watch it at home. The last thing I had was we were nominated for a Whammy again this year, the Wisconsin Area Music Industry.
Big bucks and whammies. Stop.
Exactly. We historically haven't really won any whammies, but it's just an honor to be nominated. And so we're going to go to the nomination or to the whammy party, and who knows, maybe we'll win this year. I don't know. One thing we did win, though, is we got in the Best of Madison for Madison Magazine for best hard rock / heavy metal / punk / rock / indie / country band. No, I'm just kidding. We're hard rock, heavy metal, and we got in that. So we are
That's silver.
Second place.
Second
Lost to a cover band somehow.
Yeah. So like, here's the thing. I consider us winning that category mostly because there was a cover band category.
Exactly. Like, why would that band be the part of that?
And we lost to a cover band in hard rock. So I think people just sort of like they put them in the wrong category. So, whatever. I'm not salty about it. Whatever.
Have you seen a band that got gold?
Oh yeah, I've seen Cherry Pie. Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're fantastic.
They're a good band.
Yeah,
Cool. Maybe we should play with them sometime.
they're a cover band.
Oh, do originals and covers not normally work together?
No, it's like oil
When
and
Cherry
water.
Pie shows up, they play for 4 hours.
Yep.
4 hours?
Oh yeah,
Three
they
sets
get like
with
bare
2
minimum
breaks, yeah.
$3,000.
Yeah,
and,
they make thousands of dollars.
Yep.
Oh,
So they don't really split the band split the night with other bands.
they're probably not like Frequency Club Tavern like us.
Oh god.
Not
no.
exactly. No.
No.
If they played the Frequency, that would be insane.
Yeah.
They wouldn't fit on the stage, and
They're
there would
huge.
be people for
Yeah.
They would.
Well,
So-
I mean, fucking, what was that band? That band that you're all about. What is that band? The one that does the Mega Man thing.
Protoman.
Protoman. They fit all on the
Somehow
Frequency stage.
they did.
There's like 9 of them.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, the Protoman fit on the Frequency stage. It was
I don't
insane.
understand how that
They
stage
put it
works.
in like L shape, so one keyboard is going this way, one keyboard is going this way, one keyboard. It was like,
That's one of the best shows.
oh my god,
It's a really
that
good
was
show.
still hands down. That was my favorite show of all time.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah,
That was
absolutely.
a really good show, but
I
best
know
of
it's
all
hard,
time.
yeah.
Best of all time because I got to like open for one of my idols.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
in a packed house, like yeah. So yeah, best of all time so far. I'm coming for you next show. Who do I want to play next? Dream Evil coming for you. Ghost of Dio coming for you. It'd be Dio hologram. So anybody else have anything they want to add to this TRIDENTcast?
Nipples could
We
bleed.
play with before our next podcast. We play with Automaton again at the Frequency.
Yes.
On April 7th.
April 7th.
With Whiskey Rebellion as well.
So come out to the Frequency April 7th. It's your chance to see this fantastic album live. Check it out. It ends with the trial of Duncan Batchworth III. What's going to happen in the story of Automaton? You may find out, but only if you go to the Frequency on the 7th, or if you go to redtube.com/automaton and download illegally their new disc. What are you going to do? What's the choice? Choice A, B. What is it?
We really have anything else going on in April? I don't think so. Not much.
We're playing an acoustic show.
Oh, that's right.
And
Okay.
NYDM.
Yeah,
And
so
NYDM. So never mind. I don't remember what's going on.
we're playing. We got invited to an invite only acoustic show. It's So Sonic, which is it's they only do like 40 tickets. It's a really small kind of venue, and they film the whole thing and do it like a TV show. So we're gonna be playing there on the 19th, and then we're playing the NYDM Metal Fest in Milwaukee. On 420 Blaze It, baby. Woo!
Thank you, Randy. See, I can't do that. Not like that.
All the people I know, you do the sound alternate picking better than anyone I know. Would you agree? Like,
Well, the tongue motion right there alone is worth admission.
Yep. We're gonna be the one that's so Hellstar is headlining the NYDM
Eddie.
Fest. I'm not sure if they're gonna be playing a long set or a short set. So
Isn't that? Isn't that?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Are you ready?
are you ready?
I get
Are you ready?
it. I missed it. I got it.
Yep. So anyway,
Check out the check out the Knights of Dragon's Deep music video for
Yeah.
the Easter egg.
Yep. Go by Mega Colossus's Hyperglaive. Hyperglaven. Go buy it. It's really good. It won't give you any asthma. It's really nice. It's hypogenic. What do they call it?
Hypoallergenic.
Hypoallergenic. There you go. Go buy Hyperglaive. And we'll see you next time on the TRIDENTcast. Next time we'll have it in 8K, maybe. I don't know. Joe, you have the last word.
Do your catchphrase.
Yeah, do your catchphrase. Do your catchphrase. Do your
The thing
catchphrase.
you always said.
Do your catchphrase. Come on. Everybody's been waiting.
What the fuck? I shit myself!
No, it's I'm gonna shit. One more time.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Good night.
Stop it. Get some help. McDonald's wants you to give yourself a chance to find out all the wonderful things you really can be. And so do I.